In the Gospel of John, there's a lot of talking by Jesus. And sometimes we feel that the more that Jesus talks, the more we get confused. There's a lot of talk of, I'm in the Father is in me, I am the way, the truth, and the life, the Father sent me and do the works of it. A lot of Trinity talk. And the disciples, I think through no fault of their own, had a lot of questions that they wanted to ask, because they really wanted to figure this whole thing out. If Jesus is the way, then what's the whole deal with the Father? And our mental capacity as human beings, I don't think is that great. There's always a room for a mystery. There's a great mystery of our faith of the Trinity, of the fact that Jesus and the Father are one through the Holy Spirit, through the greatest sacrament that we receive in the most holy Eucharist. The fact the Holy Spirit dwells within us. If we try to get scientific about all of this, I think we're going to fall short. Yesterday, we had the privilege of 8 of our young people receiving their first Holy Communion. And they're all dressed up. It's always a beautiful occasion. And they're always so excited. But the church says at that point, at the age of 7, they say that kids are old enough to understand that the simple gifts of a host of bread and of wine that we receive after they're consecrated by a priest at the altar are something so radically different. They're old enough to understand that what they receive is not just bread and wine, that it is sacramentally transformed into the body and blood of Christ who lives and dwells within us. And we celebrated yesterday that they were mature enough to understand that. They can understand a little bit more of this mystery. But unfortunately, the older that we get after the age of 7, we grow up mentally as well, and we think that we're smart stuff and kind of go into it. And we say, how can that really happen? Well, maybe it's just a symbol. And then we kind of don't take Jesus at his word anymore. When at the Last Supper he said, this is my body, this is my blood. The whole notion of the church, the priesthood goes away because we think our intellect is above that. The mystery goes away. So to go into the sense of mystery and the fact that things might be a little bit different than they are seen, I made a reference to a movie, which I thought was going to be a great idea for the kids, but it really fell flat. I was kind of embarrassed. So I said, how many of you have seen Beauty and the Beast? And out of 8 kids, only 1 kid raised their hand and said, oh my. Well, what was the story about? I think there was a girl. Yeah, there was a girl, you're right, okay. And there was a beast, right? Okay, so there was a beast. And he was ugly, he was mean, he was just angry. But the moral of the story is that the girl saw through the facade, saw through the externals, and got to the heart. We hear all these fairy tales of the truth about life is not in the externals. The ugly duckling is truly worth it in the end, is what the moral of the story is. But we hear all these fairy tales. Now we're talking about the Eucharist here as simple gifts of bread and wine being transformed into the body and blood of Christ. We hear the Jesus stories in the Bible of healing. That's not a fairy tale. There's a difference between Beauty and the Beast and between what we celebrate each and every week in this church. It's a mystery. We might not be able to figure it out in our heads, but by our faith, it is the greatest mystery that the world has ever known. Christ walking the face of the earth, God himself, and leaving himself for each and every one of us in such the greatest gift of the Eucharist, being transformed by the hands of a priest into the most holy body and blood of Christ. So much so that anytime you come into any Catholic church, there is a tabernacle. After we all receive the Eucharist inside of ourselves, God coming into sinful human beings, we repose the Eucharist in a very sacred place. And no matter what Catholic church you go in across the entire world, there will be a red candle lit, symbolizing the real presence that is present in this holy place. So we can come here and pray. And we repose the Eucharist to those that are sick and homebound and can't come here on Sundays. Myself, the deacons, and lay people bring Jesus to all those that are in need. But if we take that a step further, when we receive the Eucharist, when we receive Jesus, we become living tabernacles. We have been privileged enough, even though we're not housed up, believe me. We're sinful, we're not the best people all the time, but the Lord still chose to dwell in us so that we can go out to the world. And as living tabernacles, we ask ourselves, how do we live? Does that change the way that we present ourselves, that we present our faith, that we present this great mystery? Because the Lord is living out his mystery in each and every one of us. May we never take for granted the great gift that we receive today. And we go out to the church and we are called to evangelize. And by the very mystery of our lives, somehow we reflect the great mystery of his life. Suffering, death, but resurrection conquers it all. Resurrection conquers it all, and the greatest gift that we receive in the most holy Eucharist.